What's going on, guys? First, I just wanted to say I do apologize if the clips are a little campy, if I'm playing a little slow paced. This playlist, the Season 3 Mosh Pit, has just been the sweatiest experience I've ever had. There's so many sweats in every single lobby. And you guys know how to deal with sweats. I mean, if you can't run and gun and they're holding angles on you, you got to hold angles on them. That's just how you compete. That's how the people in the professional leagues compete. That's how people in professional leagues of CSGO, over whatever game it is, competitively, Rainbow Six, it doesn't matter. You want to hold angles if your opponents are better than you. You want to be able to get the first shot in the first scenario. And these lobbies are just beyond the point of sweat. It's just the skill-based matchmaking. I can't tell if it's that or if it's because, I'm on fresh and I've been playing this very early, and of course all the sweats are going to be playing this very early, like the second they can download it. So maybe, I'm competing with the people who are freshly coming into this mosh pit. But honestly, these past 2 days anyways have just been a complete sweat fest. Modern Warfare has some strange mood swings. Do you guys ever notice? Like, one time, or like 1 day, 2 days, maybe even 3 days straight if you're lucky enough, you'll get straight noob lobbies, and you'll be in heaven. You'll actually start considering enjoying this video game because you're actually smacking people around. And then you see the potential of this video game. You see the gunplay is good. You see the movement's good. And all the pieces of the puzzle are slowly coming together. But then the next 2 days to a week, you get tossed into just straight sweat lobbies. People who are either better than you or straight on the same level. And I don't mind those. I don't care if it's completely sweaty. But God forbid, man, it's like, I don't want to sweat every single game. Sometimes I like a casual match, Sometimes I like to relax. So, oh God, it's been really rough lately with the Season 3 Mosh Pit. But I did get a couple of gameplays for you guys of both maps. And hopefully it's enough gameplay to last throughout this whole commentary. But today we're going to be talking about Season 3 and my personal impressions on it. I had to sit down on this game a little bit. I had to take a little bit more time than usual to kind of soak in all of Season 3, and it's been very helpful since my job doesn't really need me right now because of the virus. So I've been able to have some extra time. So I did put in that extra time to, grind out this mosh pit and see the maps, explore the maps, try to enjoy the maps, look through the battle pass, and basically just enjoy Season 3. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. Every single season, it seems like it's getting better and better. Not gameplay-wise, of course. The same issues that are in this game every single day that we all complain about haven't changed. But for a lot of people, I mean, including myself, I've given up on the whole, gameplay mechanic changing. I can't complain about it anymore. It's very clear, it's very obvious that we are never in a million years going to see any changes in skill-based matchmaking, any changes with the footsteps, any changes with the minimap, and any changes with just the servers that we're playing on in general. This is going to be the same game that we're playing for the rest of the year. So, I mean, I can complain as much as I want, but obviously my voice isn't loud enough, and even the top dogs, the top creators, like Thunder himself, can't even get their voices far enough for the devs to even listen to that. So, at this point, it's kind of just pointless to complain about any of these issues in the game. So, at this point, I'm just looking at the gameplay side, and the one issue that I had mainly with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, put aside all the biggest issues, like I said, servers, the footsteps, minimap, all that stuff, put it aside. The biggest issue that I've had with this game is that 6v6 sucks. It's the worst possible experience ever. The maps are just god-awful, and it pushes campy gameplay. It pushes gameplay for people to, sit in corners and sound whore. That's what you do in this game. You got to listen for footsteps. And that's why I kind of, gravitated to the ground war side, because it's so loud and it's a lot of action going on. It's a lot of gunshots going on. So all the gunshots kind of mask your, footstep noise. So you can kind of run around a little bit more. And if you learn the spawns and you learn the flanks, you get used to it and you kind of enjoy it more. But in 6v6, you don't do that. It's just I've gone with a minute max where nobody shoots a bullet. It's just dead silence in the lobby. That's not what I think of when I think of Call of Duty. I think of action. That's what Call of Duty is known for. I don't know. This is like Rainbow Six Siege here, where everybody's just holding tactical angles. It's mind-boggling. So they added, actually, 3 maps into 6v6 this time. And they told the truth about this because a while back, the community was complaining and were saying that 6v6 is, pointless. And the developers actually responded saying, we hear you loud and clear. And they know this is an issue. So, they didn't show us with Season 2 that much because they just added a bunch of smaller maps. Small maps are okay and all, but I want to see more creative 6v6 maps added into this game that aren't like the ones that we've seen already. Like the cave is decent, but it's just too much for me. I don't enjoy it. Piccadilly, the St. Petrograd, it's tons of maps I just don't care for in this game. And then I'm forced into the same maps every time I play 6v6. I don't get a chance to try anything else out. I don't get a chance to give any other maps a go because there are no other maps. And none of them even show up in the rotation. And then recently they've been adding more 6v6 maps into the rotation, but they're all small maps. So now I'm playing Shipment, Rust, Shoot House, which I don't mind. They're good maps. But I just want that normal, medium-sized gameplay out of Call of Duty that I usually love. You know, small maps are okay and all, but you don't see me playing Nuketown 24/7 all the time. I barely even played Nuketown in Black Ops 4. It's not even my favorite map. I don't care for it that much. I enjoy a classic, typical Call of Duty experience. Not too small, but not too large like the majority of the maps in Modern Warfare, with just wacky designs. I like that nice medium point, just like in Call of Duty World at War. Perfect maps. Perfect map designs. Even Call of Duty 4, perfect map designs. They were big, they're unique, they had camping spots everywhere, but they still had flow. And that's what Modern Warfare misses the most. It has zero flow. 6v6 sucks. It's the worst possible playlist out of any Call of Duty game I've ever played. I never thought that this playlist would get to this point with Call of Duty. Never in the whole franchise, I never thought this would come. But now, clearly, it seems like their main focus is 6v6. And I can't tell you how much I actually appreciate that. It makes me happy to know that they want 6v6 to succeed at this point. And even though it's a very campy experience with these new maps that have come in, I have just been enjoying the flow. First off, they brought the Palace back into the rotation. And as you guys know, the Palace is my favorite map for Ground War. 10v10, it just absolutely sucks. It's god-awful, but for Ground War, it's amazing. And then they condensed it into a smaller form for 6v6, and it works so well in my opinion, because I already know all the spawns, I already know the rotations, I know the hot spots, I know the power positions, I know the map. I just know it down to a T, so it feels great to be able to play on that with 6v6 without the whole map being open. You know, this map that we're having right here for 6v6 is what 10v10 should have been in the first place. They should have never put 10v10 on the original large-scale map. That should have been always a Ground War map. I don't know what was going through their heads when the game first released. And this right here, what we're playing right now, is perfect for 10v10 and 6v6. Backlot has come back, which I'm very impressed with. I love Backlot. It's a great map in Call of Duty 4. Not too many people enjoy it, but it's one of those maps that you have to play a little bit more strategically. More tactically, I guess you should say. And a lot of people don't like that. But if you learn it and you know the ins and outs of it, you can run and gun. That's all I gotta say. You know, it's campy. It's made to give people positions to hold ARs with power positions and gun people down as you run across the open field and stuff like that. It's many buildings that you can camp on and camp in. You know, it's made to be campy, but if you learn the map, you'll know the ins and outs of it, and you can run an SMG and be able to kill multiple people easily without any hesitation. Just take some time to learn it. And a lot of people are coming back and it's a little rusty to them. They haven't played it in ages. Just give it a little time. Let it soak in. They actually added in a bunch of new positions on this map that gives you, counter vantage points against the already previous, power advantages that you had on these maps, which I personally really appreciate because there were some spots on Backlot that you just got destroyed. Absolutely, utterly destroyed. You couldn't flank, you couldn't get around, and you were held in previously, horrible spawn traps. Backlot was never an outstanding map. It was always something wrong with it. If you had the bad team and you're versing a good team, it was never outstanding. It always had issues. So I'm happy that it actually runs a little bit better than it did previously in COD 4 now. And for the final map in the rotation, which I will cut off this Palace gameplay really quick so I can show you guys, because I do have gameplay for it, and I actually really enjoy it, and it's actually called Sawmill. This is what everybody thought Village was going to be, until they revealed that Village wasn't the remastered from Modern Warfare 3, and I guess that, the developers thought, let's just rename it so nobody gets it confused with, Modern Warfare 3 Village. So they renamed it to Sawmill, or maybe it was just a rumor that it was Village, but whatever. The name is Sawmill, and it's awesome. It's about a medium-sized map, not too small and not too large. And it's a 3-lane map as well, but what it does so good is that it actually has multiple lanes and multiple paths that you can still take. And it's not so much verticality like these other maps in Modern Warfare that's, insane and you don't even know where to look or check because there's so many different corners and heights and buildings and windows. It's not that many issues. It's pretty easy to kind of predict where the enemies are coming from, but it's not so easy that it's just a straight 3-lane map, a typical 3-lane, easy to play map with no variety. That's what a lot of people were expecting out of these maps. More like a Treyarch design map, I guess you should say. But it has that Infinity Ward twist to it. The open lanes, you could still flank in different paths, you could still get up on things and have a height advantage in certain spots, but it wasn't overwhelming. And that's what I appreciate about it. It has a flow to it. Like I said, Modern Warfare was lacking flow when it first released with 6v6. And with these new maps coming into the game and remastered maps coming into the game, it's slowly adding back that flow. And also, it's already been confirmed in the Season 3 roadmap that we're going to see Hard Hat make a return from Modern Warfare 3 into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 later on in the season. That is insane news because Hard Hat was actually a pretty awesome map. Not one of my favorites out of Modern Warfare 3, but it was definitely good and it's playable. And I will definitely play that over any of the original Modern Warfare 2019 maps that came out on release. I hate those maps. Just give me anything Infinity Ward. Anything I'll take in 6v6. But at this point in time, it's looking like 6v6 is getting the treatment that it needed so long ago. And it's finally building up to something that's more playable than it was on day one. Day one, it was just pointless. I didn't even want to bother with 6v6. But there's so many different maps now, and there's so much more content that you can play with, that it's a little bit more enjoyable. I'm actually having a good time if you can put aside the horrible features that are still within the game, like no red dots, dead silence not being a perk, and the footsteps being so loud that it's just obnoxious. Things like that. If you put it aside, it's a little bit more fun now to tolerate. You just got to lobby shop a little bit so you can find the right maps because you don't want to play on anything that's actually boring. Squads finally came into Warzone as well, which is amazing news because I've actually been really craving that because I have large parties I like to play with, and 3 people is just not enough, and 4 is the perfect amount in my personal opinion. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm probably going to try it tonight after I make this commentary right here to give it a go. It can't be any worse than trios. It's not much to talk about. It's just 4 people instead of 3. It's not really game changing, but they are raising the loadout drops. I believe 10,000 I think is what it said. I didn't look too deep into the details, but if it is 10,000, like I said, I don't really agree with all of these changes. I think it should be either affordable, which 8,500 was very affordable. I think they just changed it because there's going to be 4 players instead of 3 now. And if that's the case, then that's understandable to make it 10K. But 8,500 is a good amount, especially with solos being in the game. Trying to get 10 grand for a loadout drop is going to be very painful and obnoxious. And if people get it early on, it's going to be a huge advantage compared to the people who are coming back from the gulag. I still personally think they should just make random loadout drops the only way you can get them instead of being able to purchase them. That way, the more aggressive players are the ones who get the loadout drops, and it feels more rewarding at the end of the day instead of being able to just purchase it by, landing out there in the distance fields and looting a bunch of buildings that nobody's near, and then, you get your loadout before anybody else. Is not much challenge to it. So I think that they should just completely remove buying it. But I guess it's a decent change. But the main part I want to talk about right now is the actual Battle Pass, because I'm very impressed and I'm happy with the changes that they made with this. The Battle Pass is usually something that's very awful in Modern Warfare. The first 2 seasons were absolute garbage. They didn't impress me. I still bought them and grinded through them, though, just so I can get some content for some videos if I decide to do it. But this is the first time that the Battle Pass actually feels rewarding for me to put money into it. I actually like a lot of the skins, and I will flash up a few of the skins here for you guys. If you want to check some of them out, I see a lot that I like. More simplistic styled skins that are very clean, and you don't have to go into the store and buy a bunch of skins now. This is like $10 for all of these skins, where typically you would have to pay like $20 for one skin and maybe one character. This is $10 for the majority of all this stuff. That's actually a pretty fair price. Very good stuff. And I'm impressed, I gotta say. It's not like a money scam like the first 2 seasons were, where you paid $10 and you got black skins on your guns. I mean, What the hell is that all about? None of that stuff. This is actually rewarding stuff that feels good to grind for. Bravo, Infinity Ward. I'm very impressed. I gotta give you props for, making the content actually worthy of purchasing in this game, especially at $10 and all of that stuff. Good job, good job. I bet you that the main reason all this good stuff is finally in the Battle Pass is because of the main fact that Warzone is finally out and is free to play. So now that all these free to play people are here to play this game, they see all this good content for $10, they'll buy it. Previously, nobody had the game free to play. We already paid our $60, so they were just like, whatever. Let's just give them, the back end of the content and save the good stuff for when the free to play people come in, because they're probably more willing to cough up money. I guarantee that's why this season is so good. But regardless, I can't complain. I'm very happy with what I got with this Battle Pass. I'm happy with the maps. I'm happy with the squads coming into Warzone. I'm happy with a lot of stuff. I'm content with what I'm playing with here. But guys, do me a favor and leave your opinions down below on Season 3. Let me know if you guys are enjoying it, if you're hating it, what you're hating about it, if you don't enjoy the maps or anything like that. Let me know what your personal opinions are, because I'm always curious on how you guys feel about all this content that comes into Modern Warfare. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, go dislike it. If you're brand new and you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Also, if you want to chat with me or see what I'm talking about, you can follow me over on Twitter at JbowenDaMan. And also, if you want to catch me live streaming, I do that over on Twitch at JbowenDaMan. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.